Okay, this is the Air Conservation Commission meeting Thursday, February 14th, 2019. General business, confirmation of agenda. Any changes?
Not at this time.
Okay. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting minutes. Any comments, corrections?
We also have a script from Carly
We do? Same script?
for the roll call.
And motion to approve minutes is written
So moved.
For what date?
for 124,
So moved.
assuming
Second.
that's correct. All in favor?
Aye.
Any announcements?
We have a couple of announcements. The Nashua River Wild and Scenic Study Committee has two new initiatives that they're undertaking. One is the Canoe Access Assessment Project, where they're really trying to find and formalize a canoe launch to the Nashua River in air.
Nashua River Wild and Scenic.
Study Committee. And their other initiative is the Network Gatherings for Conservationists that has taken the form of a networking event for conservation agents in the towns that the rivers for the wild and scenic designation go through, and I'll tell you more about that first one later. But on my way home tonight in the car, I heard that the Senate passed 92-8 the federal lands package that contains the designation for the Nashua, Nissitissit, and Squannacook rivers as wild and scenic,
Great.
which is very exciting. Very exciting.
So that was 98-2?
98-2.
Who are the two?
Yeah, I don't know.
So that was the designation.
Well, that was passing the federal lands package that contains the nomination for the designation
But it's not official until
till the House
votes and then
votes
the president
and
signs.
then, right?
Okay.
So maybe we're a third of the way there.
Designation for wild and scenic status.
Yes. And the other announcement is a save the date for the 2019 Mass Open Space Conference being put on by the Mount Grace Land Trust. It sounds like it's going to be a great day. It is Saturday, April 27th at Mount Wachusett Community College in Gardner from 9 to 3. It's free. It includes lunch. And I have the flyer if anybody's interested. You could just let me know. That's it for announcements.
Okay, accounts payable.
We do have going crazy with office supplies again, $27.84.
$27.84.
And even though I can approve these bills allegedly myself because we've changed to a town manager form of government, I feel much more comfortable having you guys do it.
Okay.
So it slows down the bill paying process a little bit, but
So if you start collecting things to put up a meth lab, we can stop you.
yeah, exactly, you'll see.
Well,
Who is it
only
to?
paying for it. I mean, she's already bought it.
Yeah.
Bought it and used it.
Made the
WB
profit,
Mason.
I know.
WB Mason.
Amazing.
3 binders, 3-inch white.
I don't like the color.
White?
That's good to know.
Kidding.
And 6 sets of tabs.
So we're supposed to have in the office, in a binder, all of our minutes. And I've been collecting them since I started in a file folder,
Okay.
but I got the binders.
Okay, and I should
And
probably do some back
Biggest
ones.
Like the real big ones?
It's really big, 3
biggest
inch,
one?
The biggest one.
We know how someone likes to write minutes.
Thank goodness she does.
And they're useful sometimes.
Yes, they are.
As you'll see.
Yes, they are.
Okay, motion to pay WB Mason $27.84.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that the only one?
That's the only one. And while that's going around, I will pass around the plate of Valentine's consolation prizes.
They look like something else.
I know they do.
What? Like what?
Take two.
I don't need them anymore. Thank you very much.
Taste it. Yep. Anyone else?
I'm going to put them right here in front of the microphone because, yep. Thank you.
Intense dark.
Wow.
All right. Close enough to 7:15. Our first public hearing is request for amendment to order of conditions continued 323 West Main Street, Ice House Partners.
Good
Oh,
evening. Thank you for accommodating my schedule shift at your last meeting. I appreciated that.
Very easy to do.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
so where are we?
Where are we? We are ready to extend and amend the orders for Ice House Partners that will accommodate their need to do tree clearing right now because Federal Energy Regulatory Commission
That's it.
says there are 9 trees that could really gum up the works. And I went out with Lisa and walked around, and they're right. So there's a plan has been submitted to address those tree issues. We've changed special condition number 50 to reflect that. I went over the language with Lisa, and it was mostly your language to begin with, and she was fine with that, and you guys were all fine with that. And the other part of this was getting a plan of yearly land, we're calling it land-based maintenance, the mowing and weed whacking and brush removal activities. And that's been incorporated into the special conditions as an additional plan, and the plan is now attached to the order. So I've gone back and forth about whether we amend and then extend or extend and then amend.
I would say amend,
And
because then what we're extending
is the
Yeah, the
amended
amendment.
order.
includes, otherwise it's
Right.
amend, no, otherwise it's extend,
Which doesn't make
then
sense.
amend,
Mhm.
and then have to re-extend.
Right.
So,
Just get 3 things.
yeah.
Has it expired?
It's going to expire
going
pretty
to.
soon.
In April.
So that was for maintenance, land maintenance was mowing, clearing, what was that?
Let's look at the plan. It's landscape level maintenance, mulching, whatnot around the building, Occasional mowing to the extent of limiting brushy, woody materials, and then areas that are hardly ever attended to, but are occasionally attended to.
That's the yellow?
Yeah, is the building.
I'm sorry, what?
Is the building. That's actually where we landscape.
Yeah, so yellow is landscaping, solid pink is occasional, and cross-hatched pink is hardly ever.
That cross hatch is the very end of the island that separates the tail race from the main river stem.
Are the trees coming down soon on their own, or?
Well, one already has come down since I was here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That cuts
The
your
sooner the
costs.
better.
The sooner the better, yes.
And you'll take them down and remove them, or just leave them, or what would you call them?
Yeah, we would remove them. We're gonna leave some part of them left. But
Yep.
we're not removing the roots or anything like that. We're not digging them out. It's just purely just cutting them, yeah.
All right, in my excitement to get this all ready, I don't seem to have the extension.
Can you refresh me? How often does FERC come by?
3 years.
Okay.
Where would I have put the extension? I know I did it.
You know the answer.
They come every 3 years, but we have to submit every March. We submit what's called the DSSMR, which is the Dam Safety Surveillance Monitoring Report that goes through the past year and what has been going on. And then in the summer, fall, we submit what's called an annual letter, which is essentially the same thing again, saying what's been going on, but there are two different formats.
That's
The
the
DSSMR
amendment.
follows our Dam Safety Surveillance and Monitoring Plan, sort of item by item, whereas the annual letter has specific items that they have us make statements about that are not included in the DSSMP.
Okay.
Those statements, those answers change from year to year?
They can change. It might be something like, was there an emergency drawdown required? So there are conditions that would change. I mean, ours is
Weather-related?
could be weather related. It could be, property protection related. It could be a failure of the works related. So we have certain reporting requirements when things happen on our site that we have to let them know.
Okay, gotcha, yeah.
Anything else?
Well, in the future, when there are other trees that you feel need to come down, does she need to come back to us for a request? And
The new condition 50 says we need to be notified in writing 21 days ahead of any work.
So yeah, if there's anything specific that's going to happen, you'll be notified. But I don't come back to a meeting. I don't think, unless you need me to come back based on my written notification. Is that
Correct.
correct?
And chances are Joanna go out and take a look. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any public comment?
Is that the Grady Research Building that we're talking about?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. So motion to approve the amendment to the order conditions, DEP file 100-0321.
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And motion to extend that order of conditions until April 23rd, 2022.
That's so moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. So tomorrow or Monday, I will copy all these and get the original to you. I can either certify it by mail, or you could come pick it up.
Yeah, I'll come grab it,
Okay, I'll let you
and
know.
then I'll file, and then, I'll report it.
Okay,
Great,
great.
that back to you. You all set?
That's it.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you. Oh, motion to close the hearing?
I'm sorry.
Motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I already had that written down.
Happy Valentine's Day.
All right. Our next item is discussion on the conservation site analysis for open space residential development off Shaker Road. Good evening.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Ron Strozel from Oxbow Associates.
Can you spell your last name?
Yeah, STROHSAHL.
All right. Why don't you present your findings?
Okay. Like I said, I'm from Oxbow Associates. We went out to the site initially in 2016 for the previous owner to do a wetland delineation along Shaker Road, along Shaker Pond. We flagged that, and then the property was sold off to the current owner, Daniel Aho, who has proposed some development on the property. I went out in early 2018 to flag a wetland on the south edge on the Ayer Harvard line to incorporate all the parcels that are part of this. I think currently there are 18.2 acres that are included completely in this. From there, an ANRAD was filed, which was approved by the commission, and we did a site walk with the commission, and then we were asked to do a conservation analysis to comply with the Ayer zoning bylaw, the open space residential development section of it, to identify the most important areas for conservation on the parcels, and to help prioritize the various natural areas in the parcels undergoing subdivision, to safeguard those areas from disturbance, and to identify those areas most suitable for development. I was out there on October 23rd with a colleague of mine. It was good weather conditions, and we were able to walk around the whole site. Our method for doing this is, since this is kind of new to everybody, including this commission, we occasionally do rare species work with natural heritage under the MISA requirements for the state. Usually for a conservation and management permit, which would there would be an impact or a take on the species under consideration. They require conservation management permit. Usually as part of that, they require some conservation restrictions on the land, which would put the land away. Before that is done, a baseline document is completed. This baseline document usually requires photos, documentation of the existing conditions, anything else on the site that could later be used to identify encroachment or any anthropologic or natural changes to the property after it was conserved. That's kind of the method that we use going forward in this specific case, to try and give you guys the most knowledge of the site that I could possibly give in a somewhat systematic way. So we went around the entire site. We took photos at 18 different points. I have a USB stick with some maps on it. If you guys,
Okay, and
it's all the maps that are contained in here.
Yeah.
But for anybody else that wants to or is concerned about it,
Let's see what we can do.
I don't know if you can click on it, but it has the photo locations on it. So we basically started at the old beaver dam at the edge of Shaker Road. That was removed by the town. Yeah, it's
Shaker
that one.
Road?
Yeah. So they should come up. Oh, they're not going to come up 1, 2, 3. It's going to go 1, 11, 10, or 1,
Yeah, of
10, 11.
course.
That's okay.
Right. Well, this looks like the Beaver Dam.
Yeah. If you want to go to the map, which photo stations, it's the 4th one from the left on the bottom.
1, 2, 3, 4. This one?
Yep. So as you can see, arrows are kind of hard to see in this light, but we started at the intersection of the road, the right-of-way and Shaker Road there, and walked along the edge of the pond, taking photos along the way and documenting any vegetation and plant life, any wildlife that we saw. That's kind of the method we used to make sure we saw everything on the site, and we're able to get in all the property boundaries and make sure there was nothing hidden off-site or anywhere else. I'm going to go into a little history lesson. I don't know if you guys necessarily need to know it, but I think it's somewhat important for the site itself. I did some research about the geology of the area. It looks like this was a historical cave deposit, which is basically like the meltwater, the receding glacier stopped at some point, probably on the north side of Shaker Pond, and the meltwater filled in this whole area and stayed a pond for quite some time, a lot higher than it currently is.
You call that an historical what deposit?
Kame, K-A-M-E.
Okay.
And what happens is that until the glacier receded, it almost acted as a second bank on the north side of it. So water melted from the glacier but filled up this large lake in front of it. And what that does is all of that flow that's coming out of the glacier was carrying sediment, and all the sediment deposited on this area here. Eventually, the glacier either receded far enough or it melted so much that it overtopped its banks and probably blew out one of the sides and took all of the silt and clay material that came down with it and basically washed it downstream. I'm not sure which direction that was. I can't remember the map in my head, and I meant to include it, but I forgot to. But I will send it to you guys if you're interested.
Yes.
And so, anyway, what was left after the turbulent blowout, essentially, from the stream was all the sand that was left over. And all the sand over thousands and thousands of years gets vegetated, and eventually the Shakers moved in from Harvard, and this is the group of the North Shakers, so we're talking hundreds of thousands of years at this point. And they started using this land to farm in. They also they took down all these trees and they created a mill at the end of this pond that I'll get into in a little bit. But skipping past them, this whole area was a sand deposit, essentially. All the sand was left over, and it was eventually, you could tell just from being out there, was used as a quarry or some type. They were taking the sand material out of here to use for other projects. I'm not sure exactly when, but it's pretty evident by the ditches on the site and all of the, they left big holes around that turned into wetlands, especially that one on the southern border of the property. So that's where the wetlands come in. Before that, going back to the Shakers, and if you want to go to another slide, there's a soil map.
I think I
It well, regardless, it shows that it's not exactly prime farmland. So most of there you go. I have it labeled up in the top left. Basically, nothing is prime farmland except for the red and the pink all the way along the road there, on the southwest corner. So everything else is usually sandy or rocky. When the glacier receded, it scraped off most of the surface of everything and kind of went all the way down to bedrock. And you can see that with the ledges that are out there. And most of the steep slopes are just exposed rock at this point, which probably wasn't exactly how it was beforehand, but after everything was quarried out, they basically went around the areas that was bedrock and pulled out all the sand from everywhere else. So the Shakers came in. I'm not too familiar with their history, but I was able to find out that they built this mill at the east end of the pond, which they used to cut lumber, I believe.
I found a historic picture of a lumber,
Yeah.
the Shaker lumber mill.
So I
Looked a
imagine
lot
they were
like this.
yeah, they were cutting a whole bunch of trees in the surrounding area to the south, and probably then farming it, and in the meantime using that lumber and probably selling it. The foundation of that mill is still visible. I think we all saw it when we were out
Yeah.
there. There's still some pieces in it, actually, like giant gears that are rusted and
Yeah.
probably 8 feet wide, and a whole bunch of timber that probably not from the original mill, but there's a whole bunch of overflow and material in there, and the rock foundation and the granite bridge and all of that, and granite sides to the thing. So it's a nice anthropomorphic feature that could be preserved should the commission think that it's something worth preserving. So after that, I'm a wetland scientist. We spend most of our time around wetlands. According to the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, which I printed out a copy here, it says bordering vegetated wetlands, which are BVWs, are probably the Commonwealth's most important inland habitat for wildlife. The hydraulic regime, plant community composition and structure, soil composition and structure, topography, and water chemistry of bordering vegetated wetlands provide important food, shelter, migratory, and overwintering areas and breeding areas for many birds, mammals, amphibians, and reptiles. To go along with this, I received a copy of this guidance on the conservation analysis requirement of the OSRD section of the Ayer zoning bylaw that was given to my colleague for another project that is undergoing conservation analysis. And going through this, the areas of highest priority are areas that are identified by NHESP as having rare species, core habitat, ACEC habitat, mature forest areas with over 25% slopes, and vernal pools and BVWs. So this site does not contain any of those anything regarding habitat except for BVWs. There's two on the site, obviously one against the southern edge of the pond, but also there's another wetland that drains towards the pond on the southern edge of the property. I was able to evaluate that in April of last year when I was doing the wetland flagging for that thing, and I did not see any egg deposits or salamander eggs, frog eggs. There was nothing in it. It looks like it should have the hydrology, but it does drain. I don't think maybe it's not deep enough, or maybe it's too cold. I'm not exactly sure why it wouldn't. Maybe the pH is off. There's a whole bunch of different reasons that it could not be. But it was evaluated for a vernal pool, and what we usually do is we get in our waders and we go in there, and basically with a dip net, we try not to disturb any eggs that we find, but we're looking for pill clams, caddisfly larvae, egg casings, anything that would indicate that this is used for a vernal pool. And when we were out there, usually you can even find caddisfly cases after the fact. When we were out there, I was looking around, but we didn't even see them. Not really sure why that wouldn't be, but it doesn't seem to hold any life in it. Like I said, it does drain to the north through a narrow channel. It looks man-made, and it empties out onto the road. It drains really slowly, so it's not really, it doesn't even cross the road. It just goes into a ditch and dissipates. The wetland to the south, obvious, is along the edge of the pond.
Let's see.
Yeah, there's some more, I'm trying to think if I have a wetland map. I don't even think I included it. But the priority habitat map would do the same thing. This is how I designated the site according to this document.
And we all have
Okay.
a paper copy of that.
Areas of the highest priority are obviously areas adjacent to the pond or adjacent to the BBWs, and as this thing mentions, areas with slope over 25%. So the red areas I think are 100 feet off of the wetland line, which is jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission. So I put that as highest priority. Areas of low priority were really areas that have been disturbed recently. They're highlighted in green on this map. It's an existing right-of-way road that goes through it. It's unpaved. It's a dirt road, but it's used fairly frequently to access the golf course. There's some material storage also that's occurring right now. And then other areas in orange were really kind of areas that did not meet the qualifications for priority or high priority or low priority. That's kind of how they got designated. High priority areas also included areas that would be adjacent to open space, but there's no open space that's adjacent to this, or areas that would be not altered by humans. And I believe that the golf course is listed as some type of open space, but
I know.
I saw it on the Mass DEP layer, but I wouldn't consider a golf course to be open space if you asked me.
Recreation.
Recreational, that's what it is, yeah.
That's it.
Especially with that parking lot
Yeah.
directly to the south of it, I think it kind of degrades the potential for connectivity. Like I said in this report, since the golf course and the road and the pond kind of isolate this piece of upland, I wouldn't necessarily think that this is a fantastic piece of land that would necessarily deserve like an entire conservation restriction. I have another figure from 2005 where you can see that this area was, more of the orange area was actually altered by humans. It looks like it was cut and allowed to grow back. So the forest that's out there is not virgin mature forest. It's probably 20, 30 years at this point. I think I didn't include it. I think there was a 1990, there's a black and white 1990 available on the ortho photograph on the Mass DP or Mass GIS website, and you can see that there was a full forest there, but like I said, that was cut sometime in the early 2000s. So everything that we see is not necessarily great habitat. It does support your basic suburban wildlife, coyotes, deer, squirrels, chipmunks. There's muskrats and, as we know, beavers associated with this pond. But I didn't see any, I don't see any indication why it would be able to support any type of rare species, or, like I said, it doesn't seem to even support, I think the golf course probably limits connectivity. The house to the west also limits connectivity to that vernal pool itself, and probably the access road and the pond itself prevents movement from large distances away for any amphibians or reptiles that are trying to use that. The pond itself would support a turtle population, likely painted turtles. There's probably fish in there. I didn't check. I've read online some people tried fishing in there. I can't imagine it's too deep. I don't know if you'd be able to catch anything with sunfish, but it probably holds some type of fish year round. And I'm trying to think if I've hit on everything that I think I need to hit on. Oh, the slopes of 25% are greater. Occur mostly along the edge of the pond itself and along the eastern edge of that BVW to the south and the northern, that northern piece of property right there. That's why that extends all the way to the east, right where the arrow is. Oh, yeah. So just right there, that red is a steep drop off. That's why it was highlighted in red. I think the reasoning behind the high priority was probably because of erosion worries. I think that's probably the reasoning. But like I said before, most of this area is exposed bedrock at this point. There's probably low likelihood of erosion occurring from impacting that specific area, at least. I climbed up it. It's probably it's greater than 25%. It's probably closer to 60, 70. It's almost like straight up. Yeah,
Wow.
It was a steep climb, and it does go up 15 to 20 feet. I don't have a topo plan with me, but
Will we see it in the pictures?
yes, I can even tell you which one. If you wanted to go to I'm actually on it. Photo number 12. So the road is down to the right, and I'm actually standing in the middle of the slope. It continues up a little bit, but it's basically all this rock, as you see in the front, and it's covered with this hemlock and pine, that shallow root systems that overtop those.
The thing that stood out to me from a vegetation standpoint here was the lack of invasives,
Yeah.
especially in the BVW along the.
Yep.
There's.
Yeah, it does seem to be. There's very little ground
Yeah.
cover even in that area. I'm wondering if the trees got cut and then they just came back so fast that I honestly, I'm not sure, but I agree with you. It was something usually not
Remarkable.
the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think along the road you have more invasives, especially at the. Let me see if I can find a picture. It would be closer to the northern terminus of that BVW. I don't think I have. Photo 16 is probably the closest to it, but I don't know if you guys remember the area specifically. And photo 11 has the road itself.
So this is where all that granite was.
Yes, that's where it's all being stored. So right behind us is the BVW. Behind us to the left is the BVW, the smaller one, not the
Over
not the
here.
pond. Yeah.
Yep.
And the house is to the front left. If you went forward to the left.
Right there.
Yeah. So there are some invasives along this road, probably from the gravel that was brought in and spread, and I'm not sure where it all came from, but every bulldozer these days carries something
Dragging
with them.
something from somewhere.
So that would be low priority
Right.
habitat value. I don't think there's too much else to discover. If you guys have any questions, I can answer directly. I can give you more information, but I've been talking for so long, I don't know exactly what I hit on.
Any questions?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so in your opinion,
Yep.
one of sort of the, nice land features are these rock outcrops. And I know we saw a few of them, I just don't remember where they were located.
Well, there's the erratic.
Actually, if you go, I took a picture of it, but you can't see it, it's behind trees. If you go to that 2005 map, it's the third one from the left.
This one?
Yes. You can actually see it in the middle. So you can see that the forest was basically all taken down
Okay.
around it.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the
So it's
erratic
where-
itself.
So it's like a kink in the road. Yeah, so
It's just north of that
is it
little.
right,
Nope, it's
The-
just to
the
the
next
east of
one.
that. It's just that bump.
this bump here,
Yep,
okay.
it's just north of that bump.
And then what's to the left of that? Is
This?
that just,
It looks like it's either historic rock piling or some type of, I'm not sure if that's natural or not. It could probably was a dump pile when they were quarrying out the whole thing. And as you guys saw when we were out there, right at the top of the hilltop, it seemed to be where they were just throwing all these big boulders together. I don't that large erratic that's there. I don't think that they moved that. I think that
It's been there for a long
one's been
time.
That's the size of
yeah,
a bus.
yeah.
Well, and it's interesting, even in this cutting, they didn't get down into the slopey
Right. Yeah.
area here.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, that erratic itself doesn't necessarily have any actual habitat value in itself. It's just a big rock. It's interesting geologically, but I don't think it's necessarily advantageous to anything that's living there.
Just people.
Yeah.
Just
So
those
they
of
can
us
look
that
at.
Just those of us that are living under a rock.
Any noteworthy tree species?
I didn't see, most of it is, I think I provided a species list in there. It was a lot of hemlock, red oak, white oak, white pine, and then cherry every once in a while. And then your low-growing blueberry closer to the
Yep.
closer to the ponds. And like I said, it's typical of a New England forest, and it is somewhat remarkable that there are no invasives growing up in these trees. Usually, there's bittersweet somewhere or some type of
Yeah, or barberry or euonymus,
Yeah,
the
especially,
landscapey
yeah.
things that get in. There's just,
yeah,
there isn't any.
I know, even buckthorn, which is bird,
right.
Yeah,
dropping related,
right.
which is odd, yeah.
Um,
Any owl,
I didn't
scat?
notice any while I was out there. It wasn't necessarily on the top of my list when I was looking around. I'd imagine there probably could be. The trees are tall enough, but you would need someone out there doing
Yep.
call monitoring or
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
They would be associated with, probably with the open golf course
Yeah.
to the south.
Yeah,
But there's hills around that might be more forested, less developed, that they could potentially nest in and have less of a, I know there is some conservation land to the south associated with Shaker history, the hill that's over there.
Yep.
And that kind of protected land would be more advantageous to them than something that a truck is going to go by every day, a couple times a day. You know, I don't know how often the golf course is resupplied. And like I said, you might have some deer or coyote, but the proximity to Route 2A there is not the best. It's not great for them just because you have the pond, which is blocking any northerly migration, and any southern migration is going to hit a main road, and then they're going to hit the pond. And if they turn around, then they have to go back over the road. It's just not a great spot for any large wildlife, raccoons or. I haven't noticed any hit on the road there, but I wouldn't be surprised if you found some.
To the east, just the other side of Bennett's Road, there's some wooded area.
Yeah, owned by the town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then you've got some wooded area down here. So might this, along the pond where it drops down, wouldn't that provide a good corridor for deer or coyotes or whatever?
it could. I mean, as you can see, I'm sure you've all noticed the deer don't seem to mind humans all that much. They'll probably go right across the golf course too if they wanted. But yeah, it conceivably could be used.
Yeah.
And then, the red band here is all the 100-foot buffer zone, right?
Yes, that's it made it easy for me to draw it that way. It seemed like that was, if that's what's under your jurisdiction, that would probably be a high priority. Anyway, so, and I believe it says areas within 100-foot buffer zone of jurisdictional wetlands, so
There
that
you
would be it.
What about stormwater drainage? You know, for argument's sake, you know, if part of this was developed and it's downhill, how will drainage be affected into the pond, into the pond?
Well, one does have to wonder.
Yeah, are they even? I don't think you're allowed to drain into a.
No.
You're not allowed to
No.
drain into a.
No, but then how do you,
DPW.
if you've got a 100-foot buffer and you can't go into that buffer, how do you drain to protect, you know, I
It
don't.
would probably be infiltrated into the ground somewhere out outside the. I haven't seen the plans. I don't know what the. I don't even know. You guys have seen more than I have.
Infiltration,
Yeah.
But the soil, like I said, the soil is mostly sand, so
Sand, so it's
it
gonna
does
drain.
infiltrate really quickly.
Yeah.
Till it hits.
Till it hits the bedrock,
And then it's
which
gonna
also
run
exists
out.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
engineering firms that do the
Yeah.
test pits, and that's not my realm.
Well, and
But I imagine they find some place to.
the design of this is still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Any questions from the public? All right. Do we have a schedule on when this has to be done?
Oh, I think as soon as we possibly can get it done.
It's always that way, isn't
It
it?
is always that way.
Can I ask just what the schedule involves? I'm not.
Well, it's kind of a complicated back and forth between the planning board and the conservation commission, so.
And this is
Okay.
also a work in progress of figuring out this is, because these are the first ones we're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in an ideal world, we've had your presentation, we look at the results of the analysis, we make a recommendation of the Conservation Commission's priority preservation areas, and then we hand it to the planning board
Okay.
and hope that they agree with us.
Okay.
So when do we make recommendations?
ASAP.
Is that at another meeting or?
Well, I don't know, we could probably figure it out now.
Yeah. Normally, we would do a site walk, but we just did that, right?
Right.
So,
The A&R?
Anred,
ANRAD, sorry, ANRAD,
yeah.
yeah, yes.
Yes, why don't we can discuss and identify our priority areas. And I guess then we can draft something up. And I don't know if we'll have it ready before the next meeting or not.
Well, if you all let me know what your thoughts are, I can put it on a map and write something up, and then we'd at least have something to talk over at the
Yeah.
next meeting.
Yeah.
And so 50% has to be set aside for open space,
Mm-hmm.
and that 50% is everything that's in the shading. Does not include the pond, right?
Right, this one,
Yeah.
yep. Well, and that's the other, that's gonna be a more challenging thing. So the site is 18.2 acres. Do you have a sense, Ron, of how much area is in the red? Did you figure that out?
I could figure it out. I'm not positive. I'm not sure if I included that either. I should have.
Well, it would be good to know how much area is in each of the different colors.
Okay. I can find that out for you.
Under the OSRD, the developer has to, at a minimum, provide 50% open space, so they can provide more, and they get a density bonus.
Yeah.
50% of the total parcel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not including wetlands or steep slopes.
Okay.
So in the bylaw, there's a formula.
Okay.
And I could,
Does John Boardman have all these, the formula and everything?
He probably does, but,
Yeah.
Okay.
And the bylaws on our website.
Oh, okay. It is in the
Yeah.
bylaw. Okay.
yep.
Ken?
On the preliminary plan that was turned in by John, he's got the calculations done. In accordance with the updated fall town meeting change in the bylaw. So he can look at Boardman's preliminary plans and return to the planning board
Okay.
and get those calculations.
The
And we checked.
first set or the second set of preliminary
And
plans?
I checked them, and I know Mark Goshington checked them. It matched.
Okay.
So the figures are available, but it doesn't necessarily tie in with the BBW and whatnot that you talked about tonight. It's
Right.
a general calculation that was put together.
So that would generally be helpful information for us to get going forward.
So this is the first preliminary subdivision filing right here.
Yeah, down in the lower right corner. That's preliminary.
63% of the parent site is wetlands and steep slopes. Minimum required open space 9.85 acres.
What was the number again, Joanne?
9.85 acres is the
9.85, okay.
minimum required open space. And
So 63% is what? Wetlands or?
63% of the parent site is wetlands or steep slopes.
Which I
Or an
believe
and.
includes that's the 18 out of the 18.2, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not really, I don't,
I think it's
so if the
the
total,
red up there.
so this is gonna take me a little while to analyze
Yeah.
this. Total
Yeah.
parcel area, 19.7
Okay.
acres.
I got the number from, I think, the parcel 3 layers, so that's probably wrong.
Uh-huh.
Because they always are.
Remove 50% of land sloped over 20% equals 50% times 3.8 acres equals 1.9 acres. Remove total wetland / floodplain area. I think that says 8.6. And it goes on like this for 4 inches. So,
So it would be probably useful to get a sense of red area, orange area, green area.
Yeah,
that would be a lot easier.
yeah,
And-
I can provide that.
okay.
I'll see if I can get a CAD drawing from
Okay.
John, just to make sure because like I said, those figures were made using the parcel 3 layers, so the areas might not actually be exact if the property lines are not accurate.
Right,
And he'll have surveyed bounds
right,
that would
yeah.
hopefully be a lot more accurate than the state. Yep.
Can you explain, so again, what was this reason for the red on this piece?
That was that steep slope. In this document, it says steep slopes greater than 25%. So the one that I was standing on in that picture that we showed up there, it's considered to be high priority, and that's the only one I could tell without getting out some topo and measuring it was clearly greater than 25. And then actually the east side of the pond over here was also very steep. So like there's a steep edge that comes around like that.
Yeah, that I do remember.
Yeah. But that was already within the 100-foot buffer of the BBW, so it didn't get necessarily called out specifically for being greater than 25.
Yeah, I just got the picture. Photo 10 is, you say successional field from previous development and abandonment? Was that a wetland? Is that
No.
Is that a wetland area?
No.
Okay. Then-
So if you go to the map that says I think it's just ortho, it's the second one. That's not going to help you there. So you know where that the big rock was?
Yes.
To the it's to the east of that. You can. So in this figure, that big rock is surrounded by those pines right there. Yep.
Yep.
And so it's just to the east of that.
Okay.
It's
So it's that area.
Yeah,
there,
it's
okay.
just in that area. I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure why that hasn't filled in with trees. It is just really tall. I think it was goldenrod. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But I walked through it and it was tough going. What was it, number 10? But I'm not sure why it hasn't filled in, but it definitely wasn't wet. The smaller wetland that you're thinking of,
It was across the street and.
yep,
Yeah.
there's a smaller federal,
Right there.
This, and there's.
yeah, there's a federal wetland right there
Yeah.
that,
That's really down in
Yes.
that big
Yeah.
deep
Yes.
hole.
and there's also a even smaller one closer to the mill,
Uh-huh.
all the way to the east.
Uh-huh.
That was, there's basically the pond, and then there's a 2 to 3 foot rise in material, and then on the other side of that, it looks like they dug out some more sand, and there's a small
Uh-huh.
depression there. I don't think you're gonna be able to see it in this, but I took a picture where I know one of the flags is in the background. I don't know if that's gonna jog anybody's memory, but you could,
So I see it on the plan here. So
Photo
it's-
6.
It's like right here.
yeah, It's tiny. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could probably
Yeah.
lay across it, but it is, the bottom is all mucky,
Uh-huh.
but there's no vegetation. And there's no wetland soils either. It's just kind of mush.
So this area here, so this is wetland soil in here?
I
'Cause I
It's
know
definitely-
It was flagged, but it was.
Yes.
Just
It
kind of
definitely holds water for a period of time.
Yeah.
It's definitely sandy soil, which is a lot harder to see actual redox in. I don't recall exactly what the soil profile looked like,
So-
but I flagged it as a wetland since it was
Okay.
holding water
So-
for.
So here's a scientific question. I mean,
Yeah.
because you're, you know, of course, you're in the business. To be bona fide wetland, do you have to have both soil composition
this- for the-
and vegetative?
For the state, you have to have evidence of hydrology, which doesn't help anybody because sometimes you don't have clear evidence, and vegetation. Usually, as evidence of hydrology, people use soils in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So
So if you have just one,
that would not be a wetland, or it would probably be protected federally, but it would not be protected under the Massachusetts Act, which is what happened to that wetland across the street to the north.
okay.
Yeah, this-
So that one has vegetation but no soils. I think the further one to the east is the same, but Massachusetts doesn't regulate isolated wetlands. That's what it was, and Ayer's bylaw does not either. Do you even have a bylaw?
No.
No.
Not
No,
yet.
So-
we
Not
do.
yet.
Not yet,
No,
yeah.
we do. It mimics,
Right.
Yeah.
but it doesn't have
Mm.
anything.
So those two were both isolated. That was
Okay.
the issue. So I think the one on the right, the smaller one. It's been a while since I've been out there. That one had soils because it was mucky, and I think it had vegetation, but it's isolated,
Uh-huh.
and so that made it not regulated by Massachusetts, but is regulated under federal wetland, so it's an Army Corps thing. And then the same thing to the one to the north, to the west. The one to the south had soil and vegetation, but since it drains, it's considered bordering. If there's a stream channel that exits it, that's considered a separate resource area, which would have a bank, which would make the original resource area bordering. It's a lot of lawyer writing that. So that one became BBW because it has a drainage channel.
There's a drainage channel.
Associated with it,
Okay.
which would be a separate
Okay.
resource area. It would be a resource area as bank on either side of it.
Okay.
And I think it's a wetland upstream of a intermittent stream becomes a BBW. It's bordering on the intermittent stream.
Okay.
And so that's why it would become a
Okay.
BBW
Okay.
and regulated under Mass
Okay.
Wetlands Protection
Okay.
Act.
Okay.
It's a lot of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and it's good that they split hairs that way.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, any more questions for him?
So I suppose, as a procedure for how we handle these, once we've had a presentation, if we're not, usually we do a site walk, but we don't have to in this case, but then I suppose we should just talk amongst ourselves about initial recommendations for Joanne and,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, if there's no more questions, then thank you for coming.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Okay,
Happy Valentine's Day.
yeah,
Thank you.
take a shot.
Have some chocolate, take some home for your
Thank you.
Valentine.
Yeah, my wife.
So any
Um,
any initial recommendations, or?
I suggest we put this on hold and go on to our next item and come back to it.
Okay.
Our next item is Enforcement Order 0 Central Ave, John Hillier. Evening.
So George, the first thing I have to do is make a correction to the enforcement order,
Okay.
because I didn't include both parcels. And just as a matter of being accurate, I can give John a copy of the corrected one
Okay.
that differs only in that 0 Central Ave and 130 and 31 Central Ave are included.
Okay.
And what does it say?
Oh, well, let's see. Oh, you know what? Ron forgot his one.
Uh-oh.
You want me to run?
Oh, I think Ken just
Okay,
did.
Ken, run.
So let me see if I can get back to my gizmo.
Here, no.
Get back here.
That's today. All right, so this happened. The tree clearing that we all kind of noticed out of the corner of our eye from the top of the railroad bridge, and what I really thought was on railroad property was actually on John Hillier's property. There are two parcels. The building is 31 Central Ave, and it goes down along here, right?
No, there's actually 3 parcels.
No, the front, middle, and the back.
So if you draw a line directly across the back of the building, that's one parcel. That's 31 Central Ave, is really not much bigger than the building itself.
Well,
If
that's
that makes
interesting,
sense.
because the assessor's map has the parcel that your building is on is this L-shaped parcel right
Okay.
here.
So the L part was purchased from the railroad not too long ago, a year or 2 ago or something like that.
Well, then there's this
So-
parcel out here.
That's all railroad.
Okay.
That's all railroad. But I don't, so the assessors may have joined the two for some reason for their records.
Right, it looks like they might
But they're
have.
separate deeds.
All right. Well,
So
I
just-
can only go by what the
Sure.
assessor's records are
No,
showing, and so,
I mean, we agree that's the land, for sure.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then there's this parcel here,
Mhm.
and then Ruth Maxon Schultz is the owner of record of this parcel out by the street.
Mhm.
And I'm standing just beyond the guardrail at the very top of the bridge, taking this photo before there was snow on the ground. And I counted 38 tree stumps, freshly cut tree stumps. I didn't go down in there and number them all, so I don't know if there are more than that. And I think some of them were cut on the L-shaped part of the parcel, and some of them were cut on the large rectangular parcel. And the reason that it's of concern, is because of this intermittent stream that comes under Central Ave in a culvert, and goes diagonally across John's property, kind of towards the building, and then goes underground again. And, you know, this is one of the trees that was cut. It's clearly within 100 feet of the edge of the intermittent stream. So the enforcement order is for the cutting of trees in the buffer zone to an intermittent stream without notification or a permit from the Conservation Commission.
And what does it require?
What was that?
What does it require?
Well, I think it requires John telling us what he wants to do over there and why the trees were cut.
And why the no notification? Yeah.
So, which, we'll start with maybe with the why the notification. The intermittent stream is questionable. It's when I bought the land, it was a drainage ditch. That's how it was represented, and that's what I consider that flow of water as it dries out after a rain event and after snow and so forth. It is the lowest spot in the area.
Yeah. Just a question though, even though in 2013 we did an enforcement order for some clearing, we had the discussion back then about whether it was an intermittent stream or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I know at the time you wanted to say it was a drainage ditch, and it was made pretty clear that it was an intermittent stream. It wasn't just stormwater, it was drainage coming down off the hill.
Yep. And
So
here's
that was, so we had, the
I'm-
commission was on record, and it's in our minutes, that we didn't accept that it was just a drainage ditch.
And you know, I don't want to, I'll do whatever I need to do here, and cooperate with what you feel needs to happen, but my stance then and still now is that it's a drainage ditch. And, you know, how that comes to be, I don't know. But the trees, I did cut trees on my land, and there's something that needs to happen. Please tell me what I should do.
Notice of intent was what we'd said before.
Mhm.
Because I think we'd indicated it wasn't that what you wanted to do was not going to happen, it was that it had to happen under a permit.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
So, I mean, going forward, I mean, what else are you going to do in that area?
So thank you. The why is to alleviate some parking congestion, especially with, you know, snow coming on.
Do you want to drive the?
And no,
You can
that's
just,
okay.
you can use it to point.
We have parking, so I think what I might have heard, Joanne, is that we're still parking on the land use, you know, and I put cones up and haven't plowed that area.
I did
So-
see that today.
Okay,
When I took my afternoon walk, and I did see that there were cones and that it had not been plowed.
right, okay. So I want to make sure that
Yes.
we're good on that.
Yep.
So parking is the purpose to, you know, open up some area where we can at least get employees to park their cars. And this is like 2-hour parking here. At 6 in the morning, commuters are parking up and down this street. Neshoba is busier than ever. We're, you know, creating traffic. And so having this area to park in was, we've been parking down all in through here, but the way it's configured, we couldn't get more than like 4 or 5 cars in there. So that the immediate plan would be to alleviate parking and allow some spaces down in that area.
where, can you, like, or where's the intermittent stream on this?
Oh, I can show you right here. So it comes out here and goes this way, right like that. And then it drops into a drain here and continues just, I think, at that angle all the way down under the railroad tracks, so quite a distance, and then dumps out into, I think it's the schoolhouse pond.
Schoolhouse pond.
Schoolhouse pond.
Yeah.
I remember Bill, the railroad actually did the same,
Yeah.
did,
So they've made a big mess in here.
yeah, made a
Yeah.
big mess, yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's still a relationship between this land through my deed and this land through my deed with the railroad, in that they task me with maintaining and not creating drainage problems. The lowest spot, the absolute lowest spot that I'm aware of, I could be wrong, is right here. And when this capacity is overcome, the tracks flood, and that's always been their concern. So they've come in and done different things. There used to be a drain that went under here like this, and they dug that drain up and filled it with wood chips, which and that's when I owned it. I was owner at the time and was a little confused at how that happened, but it did. So what that did is I think what they were trying to do is divert the water in this direction rather than this direction. And so that's the long and short of it. It still kind of pools here. So, but the land deeds does say that, to maintain drainage. And so what they came in and they dug this channel, because it used to go here, they dug this channel and they lined it all with riprap. And this was all sort of riprap, and it's since filled with silt, and the bottom of the pipe is not any visible. So the concern that I have is long-term, is as a landowner, not creating drainage problems for the railroad, is that this needs to be cleared out at some point so that the water can leave through this pipe.
Is that pipe open?
It is, yep. The impact from the road runoff in all directions, and now I'm understanding this is going to be paved, is incredible. And this washes out constantly, and we keep a machine there to push the stuff back up. The amount of water coming down here is incredible. The amount of water that comes down this area in rain events is also incredible. And 2 days later, it'll be dry. So there's definitely some pressure to somehow catch this water and charge it, but then still be able to have use of the land as well.
You have an engineer?
GPR.
Okay.
So I reconnected with them this week, and I'm meeting with Doug Miller on Tuesday.
Okay.
And the hard part is, understanding what the final, permanent use of the land needs to be. Knowing that now is not so easy.
Yeah.
But I know, at least temporarily, the traffic parking is really needed. I think it'll help the whole area as well.
Yeah.
One question I had was this is our right-of-way over this land, and this, I think it's somewhere right in here is 100 feet from this area in question. And if that's the case, can I proceed outside of the 100-foot buffer area to make some kind of parking in this area here? And then and also, is there any kind of protection barrier, silt, something that you might want to see installed?
I think GPR would be probably the best. I mean, just to,
Yeah.
because I think, just there's so many undulations in that area, and obviously gonna have to flatten it out to make a parking lot.
Well, I'm
Right, it's
thinking,
gonna change the drainage, right?
I'm thinking more it's something, relatively basic in that, and this is work I do myself with an excavator and then a bulldozer and some base to just compact and level an area that, that's reasonable to drive in and out of, reasonable to walk on, and things of that nature.
Right.
So, pretty simple, but not necessarily permanent either until we can understand everything.
You're planning just to level it, or are you gonna put gravel down? Or?
So this area is, there's soil here that, would probably not be great for parking on. This is all gravel from years and years of use by the railroad, I think. But yeah, that would need like a graded base or something that the water would go through that's pervious, but that's also solid enough to park on.
I don't know what the stormwater implications of that are. I would have to ask the planner, I think.
I know Mark has been out here, Mark Wetzel's been out here with me, and he's looked at it during rain events and so forth, so, and I think he also has a pretty hefty task of dealing with stormwater in
Yes.
different parts of town.
Yep.
And so, to what extent we can help alleviate the town's water coming on our land, as well as, designing something that allows us to, make it usable would be ideal.
So there's no drainage along that side of the road?
No, there's a storm drain
Storm
here
drain?
that dumps into this brook,
Uh-huh.
and then it just goes up here. All this water, all the way from Central Ave Auto, the top of the hill, really, and then I think there's a street here that comes down as well. It all comes down along here, and then gets to right about here and dumps down.
And dumps down in there?
There's a little bit of a relief that was cut in here. It doesn't necessarily operate all the time, and sometimes there's a pretty good puddle here at the end of the sidewalk that can freeze and kind of create a bit of a mess, but next time it rains, I encourage you to take a peek and then go back a couple of days later, and you'll see that this is flowing now because of all the snow melt, but generally it doesn't flow.
Right, and that's the characteristic of an intermittent stream, that it flows sometimes and doesn't flow the rest of the time. But it really does start just south of the water tank in that depression, that little dark crescent.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a wetland on top of the hill. It's
Yeah.
pretty decent.
Because air
This-
runs that way.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah, I
it's a
mean,
wetland.
to debate the merits of the intermittent stream, I'm not sure, we're prepared to do that right now, but I want to know, if there's something I should do now where the situation we're in, I'm happy to do it.
Can you pull up your picture from the bridge?
Yes. This one?
That's from the bridge, I think.
That's from the bridge. Yep, that's the brook.
And I assume the trees that are left there near the road, that's on the other property that you don't own, correct?
Yeah, that's true. This is,
Okay.
this tree and this tree are on my land. There might be I think this one might be dead, but it's on roots. This is a nice maple. It's a beautiful maple, actually, that is so close to the line, it didn't make sense. So we left that, and it would be nice. I'm not sure if Ruth would be okay, but if we culled some of the trees around this to let that maple continue on, it's a nice specimen. But yeah, so there's still a couple of trees that are on that piece of land that weren't cut.
So which way is all this sloping? It looks like it's going that way, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oops.
This is all fairly flat in through here. There's a little bit of a bump up at the property line, and I think it looks like someone had come in across from the Neshoba Club years and years ago and dumped rubble, like granite blocks, and just kind of filled in that land that's by the post office. And then it looks like they knew where the property line was. I'm just guessing at all this, but it looks like they stopped the disposal of whatever fill material that they were hauling here, so drops down a little bit from that land to this land, but then this is all pretty flat, except for the base of the hill, which is like
Right,
that.
and it's very steep from
It's super
where
steep.
it's, where it stops being flat to the
And where-
guardrail.
Yeah, and the railroad property ends at the top?
No.
I think they own this funny strip. Do you want
So
me to?
there you go. Yeah, so,
That's about where I was standing.
I'm not sure these are really accurate. They might be up a little further. It seems like this corner is actually here to me,
Mhm.
and that the line is higher up on the hill. But I could be wrong. It's about halfway. I'd say the line is 5/8 the way up the hill where the property goes. And there's stakes out there. It's all been staked out. You can see it.
And then the drainage off the road, off the bridge, how does that drain?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I never really thought about it. I think it would go down towards the town, right? And then
Yeah.
catch in the downtown drains? Because there's catch
Yeah.
basins downtown.
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with you working outside the 100-foot buffer. You just want to be careful that all the disturbed soil isn't washing back into that stream.
Mhm.
So you need to have some sort of protection there.
Okay.
It's one of those sites where you want to be sure what you're going to do before you start. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a big mess.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm.
So GPR would be a big help.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
How many parking spots are you trying to create there?
At this point, it's, one is helpful. We didn't really do a count. We were able to get, 5 or 6 cars in here, but then, I would imagine we could get 12 or 15 if this part were opened up and we could, angle people in. We have, let's see, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got a brave person with a Jeep that parks here. So we get like six cars down in this area right here.
Well, once you've met with GPR and stuff, I think, for myself, I'd like to see a plan.
Okay.
And in terms of, actually just a plan for both what you intend outside the buffer zone, which isn't jurisdictional, but also for what you intend or want to do within the buffer zone that's already
Okay.
been disturbed.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I think that's a big conversation to open up with the highway department
Yes.
and understand,
yeah.
what their long-term solution is for the water.
Yeah.
Because without the town's water pouring in here, there's really not such a big impact except for the drainage or the water that's coming off all the roads upstream. We were up to the top yesterday, and there's a trickle coming out, and then went to the bottom, and it's a good flow. So, one of my thoughts or question is like, yeah, the source is up there, but is that source 1% of what comes out to the bottom, and where does that other 99% come from? It's coming off the land, off the roads, and
Yeah, it's
Still,
every body of water has a watershed, so this intermittent stream has a catchment area. Yeah.
from man-made structures, so the roads like all go that, if you walked up, all the roads go like this to it, block after block, and there's no drainage up, there's no town drainage north of there.
so I think originally, when the town was built, that was a natural drainage from the hill, because there's many drainage, from the top of that hill, especially like Page Hilltop, where the oil spill was, or
Yes.
is, right?
Yes.
So that's a normal drainage pattern. And I think, this one is too. It's just happened to sort of be kind of, as houses got built up there, you know, it basically got morphed a little bit more to kind of drain more from the, you know, from that area. The only thing I'm worried about is, you know, planning traditional, like a traditional planning, which probably might not make sense, given that in the next 20 to 50 years, we're probably going to see more rainfall and more heavy rainfall here in the Northeast.
Agreed.
So, you know, planning with DPW to you know, allow for better drainage, more drainage, so you're not, you know, inundated by, you know, these huge storm events, which I think is going to be important.
Yeah, and the town really does bear some responsibility, I
Yeah,
think,
for that area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and Mark knows.
Yeah, yeah.
He knows.
And we, you know, we're happy to work with them, however we can, you know, make use of it for both, right? Like,
Yep.
what could be figured out to solve two
Yeah,
problems?
some nature-based solutions, the rain garden drainage, low-impact development technique. There's
Sure.
all kinds of tools in that toolbox.
Right.
Okay.
And just going back to the hill, we're finding other projects around in that area. There's a lot of groundwater in that hill. It's coming out in different places.
Up behind there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably part of the problem.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
So work with GPR and before you start, put a shovel in the ground, you know, come back to us with a plan.
Okay. All right, fair. Yep.
So this is the corrected enforcement order with both parcels on there.
In the
So-
meantime, is it useful to have some wattles installed now so that now
Yeah,
that all the trees are gone,
Yeah,
there could be some major runoff if that occurs by the time anything actually starts to happen?
Yep, that's called for in the enforcement order.
Okay, thank you.
and that coming back before us at this point, would that be a notice of intent or an RDA or?
Whatever they feel is appropriate.
Okay.
I think you had a date for like March 15th.
Yeah, and that was a draft date. I felt like
Okay.
it's a place to start.
And certainly I can have, you know, some professional input from GPR and some ideas by that point.
Yep,
And then-
that's great. It's a month. I thought
Yeah,
should be able to do something in a month.
yeah, even if it's not finalized, you know.
Sure.
It would help to just, you know, come back and show us what you're thinking.
Okay. All right. Do you want to, should we schedule that now or just come to your office, Joanne? Or what? I don't know.
Yeah, coordinate with Joanne.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
All right, so, a motion to ratify the enforcement order?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
How's the other place coming?
It's coming.
Yeah.
A few
Gonna get
weeks,
the,
maybe, a month, maybe.
Yeah?
Been saying that for years. It's getting
Yeah,
Hard
there.
to know, maybe.
It's very hard to know.
Yeah, I saw your sign said soonish.
Soonish, yeah.
Soonish.
It's best we could come up with. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect.
All right, well,
All
I'll
right, thank you.
be in
Yep,
touch.
you know
John.
where to
Thank
find me.
Thank you for your help.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you.
All right, we're going to go back to the site analysis.
Can I ask a real question? Or a
Sure.
question real quick? I don't know if it's a real question. The minutes that you read from the last enforcement order, it was determined that it was an intermittent stream at that point?
That was our opinion.
That's, okay.
Yeah, and Takashi had said at the time that you know, intermittent streams are not mapped like perennial streams. Mr. Hillier asked at the time if it could be undeclared as a stream, and minutes say the answer was no.
So there's no need for debate.
It's not an opinion,
Yeah.
I don't think, but
Well,
he can appeal to
He could
DEP.
appeal to the state.
Yeah, but it's not, you know,
Yeah,
An opinion with
We
us.
stand on precedent.
Right. Okay.
yeah.
His attorney has been in twice in the last 2 days trying to understand concept of intermittent stream. And I've been
Yeah.
trying my best to explain it to him.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the,
I thought he
that's,
explained it well himself when he said during rains, it flows a lot, but a few days later, it's dry.
yeah.
There you go.
Equals intermittent stream, right?
And the thing that irritated me is that we did go through this before, and it
No,
was
good
made
point.
clear
Good point
that,
for those, for us novices. So.
yeah, and, you know, it was clear in the minutes that we had said, you know, doesn't mean you can't do anything, it just means you have to come to us with, you know, you have to meet with an engineering company, and, wetland specialist and come back to us.
Right.
So that's why I'm a little irritated.
And did he?
Hmm?
Did he?
Now he's got GPR. No, he didn't. So do you want to keep these?
Thank you.
I mean, that's the whole project back in 2014. We did the RDA for, but
There's another possibility that he has violated the land clearing bylaw by any clearing or grading of more than 10,000 square feet of land.
yeah.
Well, that's Chalmer's problem.
It is, and the planning board's problem because it requires a site plan.
But when we look at his final plan, or more final plan, you know, I hope, given they just clear cut, I hope we maybe consider whether there should be some remedial tree planting in certain areas around the stream itself, so.
Well, I mean, I envision, it's so degraded in that area, right? I
It
could
is.
envision like rain gardens on both sides.
Something like that, something
Absolutely.
Right,
remedial.
and,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
some kind of, you
Yeah.
know, tree-lined or shrub-lined area to help infiltrate some of the water coming down. And, I mean, maybe even dig out a little bit more so that the water runs a little better. I don't understand the drainage underneath
Yeah.
the railroad tracks and into Schoolhouse Pond. You know,
Oh,
I just don't,
It must just
can't
be
see it
a
happen.
long pipe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long way, right?
yeah.
It's a long way. Yep. Yeah, 38 trees is a lot of trees.
All right,
Okay.
back to Shaker Road.
I think I would, Ron expressed a reservation about, didn't think it was valuable enough to put into a CR, but at least along the pond, I'd rather see it in as a CR, so it's permanently protected. So,
The 100-foot, yeah,
Or at very least,
yeah,
you know, we're from the top of the slope down to the pond.
right, yeah.
The latest iteration of the subdivision has houses pushed way down that slope.
Toward the pond?
Yeah.
Into the buffer zone?
Yeah. Because we don't have a bylaw.
We're gonna have to change all that.
Well, no, but we do have the open space, residential development open space requirement.
Yep. And
So-
they've found other places to put the open space because they are leaping ahead in the process, not
Oh.
waiting for us. They just are
But that's-
designing on.
But that's where our recommendation to the planning board say that 100-foot should be a permanent CR and preserved,
Mhm.
makes,
I just
the
don't
difference.
understand the whole single-family thing. I think, you know, one or two, you know, larger unit, you know, cluster development units would bode well in this area.
I don't, I
No?
just recycled a zoning map over here. I don't actually know what the zoning is in this neck of the woods. Yellow, A2, but I don't know what that means. We have A1 and A2 as the residential.
no.
um,
One's got one's got, they have sort of different setback requirements and stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
The, which one's A1, which one's A2?
A1 is the bluey green, and A2 is yellow.
Yeah, and I think the, A2 would be, I think smaller lot sizes, often smaller lot size
Mhm.
requirements and different setbacks.
So this is A2? It looks like it's
Yeah.
A2, yeah.
For A2. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was nice that he read from the actual Wetlands Protection Act about how valuable a resource to the Commonwealth BVW is.
Mhm.
And
And the dam, the dam was just protected and
Mhm.
kind of cleared. You could have a nice little park over there and.
Yeah, that gets included in that 100-foot.
Yeah.
So they sort of overlap there.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
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 Well, I think he made a really great case for preserving what's colored in red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess I still have an issue with that little strip that's on that.
The
red?
the slopey strip.
Yeah.
In what, why?
Well, just, so what ends up happening to the lower left, or the lower right yellow? How are they planning to access it? They can access it from the golf course? Or,
What?
no?
This is so high
To actually put
and
houses
rocky.
there?
This would be really miserable to develop.
It's all ledge.
Oh, it is. It's just
Yeah.
it's
Really
unbelievable.
high and
So
ledgy and,
They identified it as medium.
yeah.
At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're planning to develop essentially the green and the orange. Did I call it yellow? I'm sorry.
I think the easiest thing to develop is to the
is this all?
the other side of the road.
Right.
Pond side, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's the pond side.
Yeah.
I just wonder, see that, and the reason why I was asking about the wetland determination, like soils and vegetation, BVW, is that area that he flagged was originally probably not a wetland, right? It was dug
No.
out,
Mhm.
and then it turned kind of into a wetland, because there's some drainage sort of down there.
I remember when we walked through it, it was just
Gross.
like,
It's gross.
yeah, it was just like mucky, like
Yeah.
it
It's
almost,
like
if I remember it kind of
trashy
being
and
like,
mucky and,
like grayish, like clayish,
yeah,
right?
clay.
Yeah.
Was
Very
that-
open and nothing really seemed to be growing there.
Right,
But like you
It's
said, I
like
think it just,
degraded.
yeah, it just became the spot where the water collected.
right. So I'm
Was
just
that your
wondering-
first site walk with us?
It may have been.
I think it
so.
was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aw.
Jeez. I couldn't make that one, so I don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's lovely down there, and
Yeah.
you would just stop slack-jawed at that Shaker Dam.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh, the
yeah.
dam is awesome, yeah.
Yeah, well, just from the photographs, it
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
truly amazing.
It is
Pretty
truly
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing.
Amazing, it's like this little jewel and it's hidden from view,
I know.
It's just hidden there.
Well, then it should be opened up.
Well, except it's on
Accessible.
private property now,
It's
you
private
know.
But it's, I mean, but it's their private property,
Right.
Yeah.
so it can be part of the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, do I have the plan with their wetland flags on it?
So Bonnie, are you
Is-
thinking like a swap of some sorts there or whatever? Like say, go ahead and develop that south side of the road and,
Yeah, they
You know,
can't
keep
now that
the-
it's
keep-
been flagged and we accepted the wetland line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
really?
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, what do you mean the south side? I mean, this whole
This-
area?
This, yeah, this,
This?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's south there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It,
Although they can develop a buffer zone.
Yeah.
So where was the buffer zone in that lower portion, do we remember? I figure 100 feet.
Well, this is the, where's my marker? This. Let's see. These are the wetland flags,
And our packet of goodies.
and this is the buffer zone.
Thanks.
So basically, what he's got colored in red
In
there
red.
is the buffer zone to that little wet.
That strip, that little skinny boot in the middle there.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
the.
that's the quote-unquote wetland, right?
That's the wetland. And then 100 feet off is really pretty much everything that's in red.
Yeah.
And that parcel to the east is junk for building on?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
you can
just,
kind of see the slope on this, oops,
yeah, you can
see
do,
the lines.
Yeah, right there.
right.
Yeah,
and
right
it-
there.
and
I
it's
do
just-
remember that.
It's just rock, it's just,
Would that wouldn't give you some nice views over there, over that thing, or?
Well, that's kind of what I'm,
I don't know.
yeah, but
Nice
see,
view
even,
for what,
yeah.
parking lot?
I do remember here, yeah, there was a,
You know, it's almost like
Right up
cluster-
to
it's
it.
like, why not, it's
like I
like,
said, it was like they
one cluster.
They dug out,
Ooh.
literally dug out to get the
Bonnie.
sand. And you can see how
One
it's really
cluster.
steep right here too.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you do that or did I do that?
I did that.
Oh.
So, because that's what I was
So
thinking,
this
like, you know,
area-
like you said, if you get up here, put a couple parcels.
This area,
Yeah, what you're looking
Maybe-
at isn't all that
that area,
attractive, I guess.
and
So-
just.
So part of the
with-
problem
with
is that,
Buffer all around.
Well, you-
part of the problem is the
Fix-
planning board is not going to
Right.
approve a 1,000-foot-long cul-de-sac, which is what this plan shows. So Mark and I met with John Boardman, and Mark has asked for a 600 and a 700-foot cul-de-sac.
Mark Archambault?
Yep.
Mm-hmm,
With a little spur coming off into this first yellow
mm-hmm,
orangey part.
mm-hmm.
So is he, wait a minute, he's asking for two cul-de-sacs, or?
Two options.
Oh,
One option
two.
showing us 600 and one option showing a 700-foot-long cul-de-sac. It's a really tough site to
You know, to do anything.
yeah.
And, yeah.
So that was the middle of last week. We asked him for that,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very amenable.
Yeah, you just pay by the hour.
So there's 23,
23.
how many can they put in there if they?
If they go with a conventional subdivision, I think they can get 33.
In the area outside of the buffer zone? Or,
I don't know. If they get a special permit to do a conventional subdivision,
well, then that wouldn't be open space residential
that's
development.
right. That's right.
Is that an option they might get?
Well, if they could get a special permit for it
From the planning
from
board,
the planning board.
which we wouldn't want to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
But that would still leave them with a 1,000-foot cul-de-sac, right? Even conventional?
Well, I don't know how, they would design it.
Yeah, with a 1,000-foot cul-de-sac coming off of
Basically following this road
that road.
and having a bulb right
Bulb
here.
right there.
Yep. Then we saw a plan with a 500-foot cul-de-sac and literally an octopus's set of arms of shared driveways coming up here
Off the bulb?
off the bulb. 3 houses per shared driveway. And one of the shared driveways was about 500 feet long.
So So I would say in our recommendations, one, because of the pond and that it's currently undeveloped on the south side of that pond, we wish to protect the integrity of that, couldn't we make as one of our recommendations that we sort of strongly recommend this be held to the open space residential development and not get a special permit for conventional? One.
Yeah.
Two, the area of the mill and the 100-foot buffer zone along the pond should definitely be preserved as open space. Do you want to protect that little rock outcropping you were highlighting?
You're
Right there.
erratic.
The erratic rock,
Yeah.
Oh, we should point it out. that it's
pointed out,
significant.
it's
Yeah.
significant, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called erratic?
A
Yeah.
glacial erratic.
Glacial erratic.
Big rock.
ERRATIC, glacial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It is,
just,
'cause
it's
it
a
was-
chunk of some New Hampshire mountain that got dragged down
Down.
here and dropped when the ice melted.
Yep, yep, yep. It slid along the ice, basically, and just.
Yep, plopped.
Plopped.
Yeah, so I would go with first, that this keep to the open space residential development subdivision and not be given a pass.
I know. And then in the development, they're gonna have to figure out all the drainage and
I know.
runoff. Where is that all gonna go?
Well, that's also important to maintain that 100-foot untouched. I mean, that should be the open space.
Right.
Part, definitely.
Yeah.
I know, because as Ron said, the water's gonna percolate down through the sand fast and then hit the rock
Right.
and run
Yeah, yeah,
underground till it
Right.
can break out.
right, right. There's gonna be a lot of impervious surface.
Yep.
It's such a big development.
So there's that area, probably this area here, would have some significance in terms of just, geology.
Mm-hmm.
The slope is pretty significant there, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's slope and access, like Mark said.
Steep slope of exposed bedrock. I think it's
Yeah, Mark, the planner, really likes that, this area right here. He really would like to see that preserved if at all possible.
See, I would, on that side, probably be willing to trade protecting that area that then goes down steeply into that wetland,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe make concessions on the other side of it in that buffer zone area
Yeah.
to give them a little more development there. But
yeah.
Well, if we start invading this BVW, it's hard to
Yeah.
make a case
but
as to why this BVW is so important.
well, except the pond is more important, and it's Bennett's Brook, it's a much longer, bigger
Mhm.
impact area, but
Yeah, and the vegetation along the pond is much higher quality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is amazing
Yeah.
that there's no junk down in there.
Right.
Yeah.
just thinking of areas we could give and take on.
Yeah.
But, and that would be practical in terms of where they could, reach a little bit, but the other thing is we'd need to see the, Ron's estimate of the acreage of the areas.
Yes, I know, and trying to
Yeah.
sort it out from,
So future ones, when we get something like this, we should make sure it includes estimated amounts for each of the areas. Otherwise, it just takes them longer to get through us than we have to, so.
So he had indicated that along that slope again, that was bedrock.
Yeah. That was steep, really steep, he said.
Right, I remember the steep, and again, you can see it on the
Yeah.
map, on the topo, but the fact that they were digging out sand or what have you, and essentially created that wetland, are we truly confident that that bedrock continues all the way back, let's say, to where the parking lot is there, that road, right?
Well,
Because obviously they've done a little bit of whatever there.
right. And I've never been through the golf course property to see what it's like.
So is that all the golf course right there? That building and the parking
I
area?
think this is the
Yeah.
clubhouse.
Yeah, that's the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And this is the beginning of the golf course itself.
Yeah,
And the
what's-
blue thing is their maintenance building.
yeah,
Up-
the maintenance in the back.
That's maintenance?
Yeah.
And then that's all
Maintenance.
parking for the course in between?
It must,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
must be.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
golf carts
The
there.
golf carts, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And there's parking up there as well,
This-
right along there, yeah.
So do you want to do a draft of some of these
I can-
points and
sure.
circulate it like we
Yeah.
did last time?
I can do that.
And then George can do final approval?
Okay,
All right.
all right.
The lot sizes that are indicated on this particular plan, they can be smaller underneath this new
Yes.
bylaw, so I mean, this seems like it's a perfect opportunity to try out that new, I mean, there's so many cool things with this property.
I know.
To do what?
To highlight all the, you know, the big rock and the Shaker Dam
Well,
and all
it-
this historical
Yeah.
stuff that's
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
you think that
the
these,
plan, yeah.
anyone who wants to live there would be delighted to have that stuff highlighted.
Yeah.
Well, I know, and maintaining the integrity of really high-quality open space, say along the edge of the pond, by not letting them push houses down that slope,
Yeah.
is what adds value to
Right.
this development for the developer.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, you can see that,
Mhm.
like, this is the 100-foot, right, all these houses in their
Yeah.
backyards
Yeah.
are all, you know, in the 100-foot
I
buffer,
know,
right?
and so he can't, we have to figure out some way to help him understand he can't have it both ways. You know, you can't try to get value out of an open space development for your property unless you're actually going to set aside the high-quality open space.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, with the new bylaw, anything over 4 units, for 4 houses has to go to the open space residential
Yep.
development,
Mhm.
meet the criteria there,
Yep.
unless they get a special permit
Right.
for conventional.
Yep.
And
And they haven't been waving that flag at all.
which flag?
The special permit, we're
Yeah.
gonna go conventional. They are not.
Yeah, so we should just state that, but not make a big deal about it.
Yeah, or maybe we shouldn't even state it.
No, I wouldn't state it
You wouldn't?
until it, and if it comes up, we deal with it.
Yeah, but if it comes up, it doesn't come back to us, does it?
No,
Hmm?
No?
no.
I mean,
It's still
it doesn't get reviewed by us on that score. The next we would see it would be
It's
the
NOI.
planning board okayed that, then
We'd
we
get
would see it as an
notices.
NOI.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
see it as an NOI.
But we can't, then we don't have we can't say, no, you can't do it in that area at that point. Because it's a done deal, really. We can just regulate it. So the opportunity to, I think we should just mention it, just as a single sentence.
In tiny, tiny, tiny letters
It's,
on the
but
back of the
mention it.
page.
Well, no, I should, I don't think it's,
Yeah, yeah, I
it's
see
a
your point.
recommend,
Okay.
because otherwise
Yeah.
it's now or never.
Yeah, yeah, I see your
So,
point.
All right,
Yeah,
let's move on.
yeah.
okay.
Request for certificate of compliance, Lot 3, Orion
Yep.
Park.
We still have not sorted this out.
Okay.
I got an email back from the owner saying to the engineer, I thought you walked it and said it was fine. I myself haven't been back there for 30 years. And the engineer didn't respond. So I think we'll just keep continuing it till they have something to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so Discussion Solitude Lake Management, Summer 2019 Pond Tree Plan Contract Proposal.
So, in your packets, you have their proposed contract. Which totals $25,250.
Did we ever hear back from, Natural Heritage on the Clipper question, or?
I talked to Misty Ann Merrill
Yeah.
about the Clipper question. And she painted a very different picture of it as an herbicide than Solitude did. She said it disrupts one of the enzymatic processes in photosynthesis, so it kills everything.
Yes,
It
it's a very broad herbicide.
just
Yeah.
and she has invited the company to share data so that Natural Heritage can do their rigorous analysis of the data and make their own decision about it, and the company is not forthcoming. So, she,
What's the name of the company that makes it? Is it one of the big ones, like,
I don't know, I'd have to
Oh.
look back in my notes.
Oh, so the company there's not Solitude, it's the manufacturer?
Yeah.
The manufacturer,
Okay.
Yeah.
yes, yes. She said it does have useful applications, like if you're trying to keep a swimming beach, a public swimming beach clear, you could use it in that case as long as there wasn't an outlet to the pond nearby, because it will kill everything.
yeah,
And there is an outlet nearby on
yeah.
here.
The problem is that they don't, it travels and kills everything, and they don't want you to do it on a windy day, or,
Yeah.
They want it when the water's flowing really quickly or fast. They'd
Yeah.
rather have it done where the water's stationary, it just kind of goes and just stays there and
Yeah.
does its
Dissipates.
job, it doesn't dissipate, yeah.
So it's sort of a
Yeah.
irrelevant point if Natural Heritage isn't gonna do anything, so
Mm.
approve it, so,
She,
Okay.
yeah, yep, but I did have a nice long talk with her about it.
so they wouldn't approve its use in the
Right.
Great Pond.
That's the bottom of that question, yes, they will not.
Okay.
Did they write this?
Yes, they did.
I love their number 10. Contractor is not responsible for treatment failures that result from dam or other structural failures, severe storms, flooding, or other acts of God
What about
that are
goddess?
outside of the control of the contractor.
Locust or what?
Well,
Well,
I
that-
think
frogs.
that
actually
makes-
we are the God.
Yeah, but
we-
that makes sense, though.
Yeah, that's a
That's
that's
a
a
standard.
very standard liability kind of.
We're responsible, for all this severity in the weather, Just putting it out there.
Yep.
Oh, well, that, yeah.
Not
I see what you mean. Acts of anthropocentric, what's the phrase for
Progenic,
anthropogenic climate change, or whatever,
yeah. People caused.
People call it.
the hoax, not.
Well, the number works.
So I think the way they're getting to that number is by cutting back on some of the pre-treatment surveys and relying more heavily on the post-treatment survey from this year. Which seems reasonable.
Yeah.
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 Well, it seems our requirements for these have always been an evolving thing as we keep learning with each one.
Yeah.
So I did ask the question, but didn't receive an answer of when we need to have a number submitted so that it can be on the spring town meeting warrant.
Oh, you asked, who you asked?
Carly.
Carly, oh.
Um,
Well,
So I don't know what the answer to that question is, but I bet it's pretty soon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How much do we have now?
yeah.
Let's see. I have to. Well, available budget. Looks like we might have some annual town meeting from fiscal year 16, $3,800 plus annual town meeting fiscal year 19, 32,000. If I'm reading this right.
I'm not good at,
I'm not much better at it.
yeah. I guess when we ask for these things from Lisa in the future, if, she can give us all the different accounts and then add it, like, what is the bulk sum we actually have for that category?
Mhm.
For
Well,
those
I
of us who
think-
have trouble with these things.
I think it, some of it rolls over and some of it doesn't roll over. And she likes to use the money that expires
Yeah.
soonest first.
Yeah. So there was beaver control from 2007, we saw $1,500 there. In 2016, there was 5,600, but that's all spent. That was spring of 2016 from Article 28, FY16. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. 5,600 was from special town meeting, October of 16. That's all spent. Article 28, FY16 annual town meeting. Oh, that says pond survey. But that's all spent anyway. Never mind. Article 23, FY18 annual town meeting. 25,000, that's spent. Article 20, FY19 annual town meeting was 40,000 appropriated. So far, we spent $7,043. So we have $32,956 left.
32,000.
956.78.
From FY19.
Yes.
Okay. So we do have enough to cover this year,
Right.
regardless.
Yeah. Question is, do we want to ask for more just so we have a continuing balance?
Right, so we can do it again next,
year.
Right.
yeah.
That
So-
makes sense.
And if this is kind of the maintenance
Yeah.
plan,
Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
gotten it down to a,
Uh-huh.
and it could be that this will
Mhm.
decrease going forward, but
Mhm. Mhm.
making sure that we can at least do this much again.
Mhm.
Right.
Next year,
Yeah.
So should we
Mhm.
have Robert, give the contract to Robert to look over,
Yeah.
and then tell
We have
him
to.
we have this much to cover it, and then ask him what, if we can have,
Mm.
what he would like
Suggest.
to offer for
The fall,
Springtown meeting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The omnibus.
30,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as this goes, do we still have to put out a proposal and try to seek out?
I don't think so.
I don't know, he,
Mm.
I think, so last year at this time, was he still the town administrator? He had not yet become
Yeah.
the town manager, so the procurement rules changed when he became town manager. And it could be that because this is under 50,000, he
Yeah.
can just sign it.
Okay.
I think there had been something like that. There was some amount where we didn't have to, and
Right, and if we do have to make a good faith effort to find other quotes, I have the names and addresses of the ones I found last year, and I can just do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to have them look it over, because,
But didn't we already ask them for something? The others, let's say? The other companies?
That was for the 2018 contract. Yep.
And nobody came forward, though,
yeah, I don't think we did. We
Well,
had the
but-
one company that said maybe sometime in the future.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right. But it was, I put the request out there, and the information I got back was, thank you, we're not interested, and that was good enough.
yeah.
So we did get something back. It wasn't an actual number or an offer to do work.
But you reached
Right,
out.
right, and I guess that's what I'm,
You reached out.
you know, by taking that and utilizing, does, you know, Robert have something that can, you know, we can document a sole source effort saying, we've already, you know, tested the waters and no one else is interested in our ponds except Solitude, so.
And we used to
Well-
reliably get two proposals, one from Aquatic Control Technologies and the other from Lycott Environmental,
Okay.
but those both got eaten up by Solitude.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
One big monopoly. It's a monopoly.
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah,
so,
nobody else, yeah,
all right.
yeah.
And we're all good with the client responsibilities? We can do all these things, A through E?
Yeah, it usually, it comes down to Rebecca calls me to make sure we can get a key to the gate so she can get the boat in on whatever day, and,
Okay.
so should we vote to approve moving this on to Robert and taking steps to,
Yep.
sure, yeah, just 11, 12, and 13, I don't know how he's going to react to.
which page?
Page 4, numbers 11, 12, and 13, it's like
Oh.
customer agrees to pay penalties and interest in the amount of 2% per month for all past due invoices, things like that.
Did they have that on before?
I
Is this
don't-
new?
I don't recall,
I don't think they did.
because I think we wrote the proposal before, so they were
Right,
just
right.
agreeing to ours.
Yeah.
well, and we
Access of 30 days.
do quite often end up in a past due situation
Right.
because we have to come through and get, no, I get the bill
Mm-hmm,
a week after they sent the bill,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then it's the day after the meeting, so it's
Right.
2 weeks before I see you guys.
Right, then we have a question.
And you have a question, and then it goes to Lisa, and I've missed the warrant
Mhm.
for paying the
Mhm.
bills, and now we have an overdue notice in our mailbox.
Well, maybe we should change the 30 days to 60 days?
Yeah.
Ask them to change it to 60 days?
Yeah.
I'm sure we have standard causes,
Yeah, yeah, we have
So,
to.
yeah.
Statement, right?
so we may end up having to just sort of copy this over onto our form and, keep the scope the same, just to eliminate those pieces.
Yep.
and
Yeah,
Attach our standard language. and
okay, yeah,
That's up to Robert.
okay.
So,
So
motion
maybe-
to submit this to Robert for review.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And should that include them to request 30,000 on the warrant for
Future?
future, next year?
Make that a separate motion.
Need a
Yeah.
separate motion to,
Because Robert usually asks that we had a motion on things, so
yeah, so make a
And then-
separate, second motion to include
to
$30,000.
request
Request
30,000
$30,000.
at Springtown meeting
For
for
future
future
pond
weed treatment. BT moved.
So moved. Will you?
No,
No, you second.
you
Okay.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's after 9,
We're all tired.
Yep.
And to that thought, I move that we postpone our Culver Place discussion.
So moved.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
because there really
Yeah.
isn't much to discuss.
Okay.
Okay.
And on the bylaw, so, did you have to move that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who seconded it?
John.
Me.
John
Oh,
did.
okay. And on the bylaw, my understanding, Joanne said this was a placeholder, but we were not going to actually discuss it. And you weren't supposed to get back to me on your assignments of looking over what I gave you until the next meeting anyways.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
That's good. Okay.
It's hard reading. It's very challenging reading. Just,
I tried to summarize.
you
for
did, you
Go
did
No,
a
you did a good
fabulous
job
job
doing that.
of
So I was
summarizing.
looking at it before I came here, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
very nice job summarizing. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Still need some digestion, though.
And you should just on that, just to spark everybody with their enthusiasm for the next meeting, what was the timeline you were given?
Yeah.
We have to have this wrapped up in shiny paper with a bow, August 22nd,
August 22nd.
To get in the spring?
Okay.
to get on fall town meeting.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We're not allowed on Springtown meetings
No, it's too-
anyways. It's too close, but revisions to the zoning bylaw still are painfully getting done.
So the fall town meeting is something like October 28th. But this has to go through Carly to town council
Mm-hmm.
to be put on the warrant, to
Mhm.
be approved by the selectmen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
August 22nd is the absolute drop
Yep.
date.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do your homework.
Okay.
So next meeting, we're having a discussion, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nicola?
Should we submit stuff beforehand?
Is that,
Should we submit stuff to Jess beforehand, kind of,
Sure,
maybe?
sure. Yeah. I mean, I
You
can,
can fill
I
in the-
can just, I can be drawing up a list or whatever.
You could fill in like the other column and maybe some
Yeah.
initials in the other column.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do something with it.
And if it helps, the MACC handbook has a whole chapter about the bylaw,
Mm-hmm.
the model bylaw,
Mm-hmm.
and the reasons behind it, and the case law behind it, and descriptions of the cases. And I find you have to be in the exact right frame of mind to read it.
Gotta
But,
get in the groove.
Mm-hmm.
But once you, it really is, it's
Yeah.
really, really very good.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. Conservation Office updates.
Conservation Office updates. Let's go zoom ahead here. So, bless you.
Thank you.
I'm not touching it.
Don't touch.
They have been demobilizing in the woods. This is what it looked like a couple of weeks ago. And the day of
Mm.
second to last
That's sort of a
ice
neat
storm.
picture.
Yeah, it was, I was out there with Paul and Stefan for 2.5 hours that day.
Are you on the map? On the road?
Yes, yes. What's left of the road, they've been pulling the road out. They disassembled the basin. They've taken away as much of the piping as they could that wasn't solidly frozen. So they've taken out 700 tons of contaminated soil.
700 tons.
700 tons. And this is the manufactured wetland replacement soil.
Uh-huh.
And one of,
the plantings that they planted?
well, these are the last few cells that haven't been replicated
Uh-huh.
because it's frozen solid. But I'm showing you this because they were asked to cast the fallen branches and whatnot back into the area from any trees that they had to cut. And that's what this picture shows, is, you know, an effort to sort of,
Wait a minute, don't go off that
Okay.
picture.
Create some entropy?
yeah, exactly.
It'll decay and
Yep.
stuff will grow up around it.
So that they're not diverting.
Oh, no, no, they're not,
Okay.
no, they're not diverting any water anymore. This was after that, I'm trying to think what day this was last week. There was a big rainstorm in the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my big concern with this is that all this new wetland soil is gonna mobilize.
Go somewhere else. Yeah.
And it is happening a little bit, which is why Paul came out to, and he said, yeah, that's a reasonable concern.
Is this one of those channels? Is this a
No, this is the flat wetland area below the 2 channels.
Okay, yeah.
And above the 1 channel, up north of the wetland, south of the wetland crossing.
Wow.
So you're concerned the new soils will move?
Yeah. This is what this looked like, this really wet spot after the deep freeze. This is what it looked like the day of the ice storm.
Yeah.
There's concern about this area too, just becoming a channel, basically. This is, if you picture the end of Trevor Trail and the stormwater basin that's below the end of the cul-de-sac is right over here. All that water from the 2 channels and the wetland system and the 1 channel ends up down here. And this is some of our wetland soil. So Paul asked Stefan, who asked Greg, to make a plan for monitoring the situation going forward. And I received that plan, and I think I sent it on to you guys. And I have some concerns about it because it doesn't really address keeping track of what's happening at this particular point. They're talking about weekly going into the more upland areas, and I just need them to tell me how they're going to deal with this.
The areas that are already showing, yeah.
Yep.
So where they had the road, the yellow brick road,
Yep.
and as they pulled it up,
Yep.
were they putting plantings in where the road was?
They were pulling woody material from the sides back over the road.
But not planting?
There were places where they had to dig out for contamination in the roadway itself.
Okay.
And those areas will get filled with replacement soil. And I don't know if they're going to save a couple of plants to. It seems like the plan on the roadway itself is just to pull stuff in from the side with the understanding that any of the shrubby material or ferns that were underneath the road, the roots are
Back
still
up.
viable.
Okay.
So this is the demobilization in Trevor Trail. They have a hot water pressure washer that they're cleaning the mats with, and all the mucky soil is going in this tray, and the liquids are getting pumped up into the frac tank, and then the solids are going in this roll-off container. It was really quite a production.
They deem all that contaminated? Is that why they're doing that?
Yeah, it seemed that was the easiest way to clean the mats, to return them to the rental company, and just considering everything touching the mat as contaminated. That way there's no question.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to hear back from Paul to see if he thinks the plan is adequate for the monitoring of the
Downstream
soils
soils,
through,
erosion.
yeah, through to April, when they can actually put the wetland seed mix in, and then finish remediating those bottom 2 cells. Yeah.
That first picture you had up there, could you send that to me?
The one of the, this is what it looked like a few weeks ago picture?
The one with the, yeah.
Branches.
Let's see.
That one.
Yeah.
It's a nice picture. I mean, it's not nice what the mess it is, but
Yeah,
artistically, it's a nice picture.
yeah, it is.
Really think so.
And it was
Is it like
about,
an Ansel Adams-like picture?
Yeah, well,
it was
sort of-
about 24 degrees, and all the ice was falling out of the trees between my face and my glasses, and it was just miserable.
It's a very sad picture.
Looks like something out of The Hobbit.
Oh, it does. It's Mirkwood, you know, just,
Yes.
I was
yeah.
just thinking the same thing. Across the wars, you know?
Send Mirkwood to George.
Mirkwood is a good one. Yeah.
Mirkwood. All right, there they are. I think the feeling, the tally I've been taking is that this is the preferred one,
Yep.
and most folks are not fans of the flourish.
What would you put there besides, just blank?
I think it would look more serious without a flourish,
I mean, you want-
I could
Because-
live without it.
because this is a serious sign.
Or like I said, put cattails instead.
Well, cattails or ferns or little frog faces or something, but
Or
little frog.
let's do salamanders on either side. They
little
kind of
Salamander.
Right.
same
Almost is-
size.
Almost is a
oh,
salamander.
salamander's rampant, you know, it
Oh,
could
that's
become our crest.
That's kind of cool.
Middle finger salute.
But yeah, I like the bigger no dumping, no disturbance. That's-
Yes,
Yeah, I do like that one better.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Because you don't even really have to read the rest of it in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one, you have to do a lot of reading to
Right,
figure out what it
right.
is you're
Yeah.
supposed to do.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, well, I
Yeah.
will tell her that, and holes, yes for holes, okay.
Yeah.
And I had Steve Mullaney count how many signs he needs, 28.
Mhm.
And we need 6 for 231 Snake Hill Road. So I was thinking we should probably order 50.
Well, presumably all these open space residential developments are gonna need them.
Mm-hmm.
How much are they?
We don't know yet.
Is
28,
there- is there a
29,
price break
30.
If you get over a certain number, or are they?
Well, I can find that.
Yeah.
Kim's in contact with the Department of Corrections sign shop, so
Okay.
I'll have her.
So we can use the wetlands fund for this.
But I'd probably go more than, well, wouldn't we, do we get reimbursed by contractors?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'd get more than 50.
Yeah.
And then what about historical, like conservation restriction areas that we don't have signs on?
Yeah.
Well, we have a stack of those in the file cabinet.
We do, okay.
There must be this many of them.
Okay.
Well, 100? I think 100?
200? See what the price is.
Okay, all right.
But let's say minimum 100.
Yeah.
Are we going to provide these at cost is the idea? Or are we looking to get a slight markup, or can we do that? Is that illegal? I don't know.
I don't know.
We get like $1 a sign additional, just to kind of just.
Annual
Something.
fee.
What's that?
handling fee.
That's
Sure.
right.
Yeah.
You
Well,
get a second one free, just pay a separate fee.
Yeah. It's like buying raffle tickets, right?
Yeah.
It's what, $5 each or 3 for 10? right?
Yeah, right, right.
And these are mounted on what?
Clear aluminum?
signpost, Gary Schimmel's house on Snake Hill, he's put in pressure treated posts with bevel tops, ready to receive a sign, but
Oh,
Pingree Hill will probably put in metal fence posts,
Yeah.
just stakes.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Can we
green.
rather not be
Green
pressure
ones.
treated, right? Wouldn't we rather have either like cedar or metal? I would assume probably not pressure treated.
Cedar today doesn't only last like 15 years.
Yeah. I think the metal fence post is
Something
the
on metal.
The green painted ones are pretty good. No, those don't.
Well, I know Gary already has his posts in, so,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying not
right.
take them
Yeah.
out, but I'm
Yeah.
just
But
saying
going
Yeah.
forward.
going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aluminum?
All right. So here is the
Fine.
Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Grant Letter of Support, nicely edited by Jess, which I think you have all seen.
Yeah, very nice. Nicely done.
Ready to sign and send off.
Good
to-
team effort.
Yeah.
Motion to sign the letter.
I think you should sign it.
Well, it's got all our
everybody's-
names.
Oh, it has.
Yeah.
Do we all sign it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it would be good to have everybody sign
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
We make a motion to sign, I will make a motion to sign the MVP letter of support for DPW.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Leave a big spot in the middle for Jess to do like a big John Hancock.
So we already talked about the Clipper
Clipper.
usage, North County Land Trust Strategic Conservation Planning meeting last week. I took Marion Stoddard to this gathering of 30 like-minded folks from mostly northern Worcester County to really, I was there to continue to romance them into helping us with our conservation restrictions. And anytime I go anywhere with Marion, it's like traveling with royalty. Really, she is so well respected and so well received, and still at 90 is putting her message out there and asking for what she wants.
It's pretty amazing.
And boy, I take a page from her book every single time. So it was an interesting gathering, and it would be good to see how their mapping proceeds. I gave them copies of our maps.
You think North County's softening?
I think they are.
Can we invite them in again, maybe in the spring?
Jassy? Or whoever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I talked to their board chair and one of their board members, and I think they will help us if we need help.
Beginning in January, CPC had Stuart Saganor, who's the executive director of the Community Preservation Coalition, come in to see us. And he was talking about, for like acquisitions of open space down the road and stuff, it's usually much better to have somebody, a third party from the town, do a lot of the negotiating, because a lot of landowners or whatever potential sellers often have ill feelings toward their town from
No.
yeah.
It's shocking.
And Stuart specifically brought up Jassy as she would be a good resource for us. So
Well,
We should
that's
keep
good.
softening.
Yeah.
Well, and I've known Jassy for a long, long time. We were on the board of Holden's Land Trust
Yeah.
together
Mm.
for years.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Robert.
Oh,
Roberts,
news.
did you see it in the paper?
Yeah.
It was in the paper.
Oh, yay!
And the reporter got most of it right, too.
That's
It
great.
was pretty good. John Boardman sent word that Mass DOT has disapproved the rain garden that you all approved
What?
between lots 7 and 8 on Dan Aho's Littleton Road.
Why?
Just 'cause they did, and they.
But it's way down in the driveway.
I think that's the problem, is that it's way down in the driveway. It's way down inside the lots. They wanna capture all that stormwater on the street. And late yesterday afternoon, he sent a sketch of what MassDOT has approved.
Oh, really?
And it looks like an amendment to me, and I think John I couldn't really tell what it was he was asking, but it sounded like a field change request, and it's beyond that. They're gonna have to fill in the rain garden, and so he wants to be on the next agenda. The Air Green Residences is the 40B, where Air Solar 2 was proposed, and staff was asked to give comments to the Board of Selectmen about the project. So the comments that I sent included, it's in an ACEC. Natural Heritage just expanded a lobe of mapping to include the whole area. The soils include something called Freetown muck. That sounded, I don't know.
And that's their proposed,
This is the latest proposal.
It looks like a military barracks or something.
So your comments to the Board of Selectmen were, it's in the ACEC.
Natural Heritage.
What about natural heritage?
They now map this as an area where there could be endangered and rare species.
Where was the Freetown muck then?
Right underneath these buildings. There's a great soil data layer on Mass GIS that
Okay.
gives all the soil names.
So did you have like several points?
Those 3 points. I
Okay,
think.
so one in the ACEC,
Yep.
two
Natural Heritage.
maps it as an area that may have rare or endangered species.
Yep.
And then the third one was,
The underlying soils.
okay.
And I'm sorry, the fourth one was
Wait, underlying soils might be
of concern to drainage.
of concern for drainage.
Yep.
And the fourth
The
was,
fourth one was changing land cover from forest to heavily impervious development. The stormwater calculations under that scenario need to be looked at really carefully.
plus changing it from,
A forest condition?
well, not just from forest, but changing it from a solar panel array that would drain right into the ground to an impervious is a huge difference too.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, got it.
The database, I thought I was gonna have an update on that, but, our appointment got canceled because of the snow, so that's rescheduled. Open Space and Rec Plan looks like it's on schedule to get sent back to the state for March 1st, which is exciting. And,
And you still don't know how many hours I'll spend on it.
no, but we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Because he's not finished racking up hours.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had estimated, oh, this is at least like 40 hours. And I think it's way more than that.
Is it? Yeah.
Joanne couldn't possibly have.
And Kohler Place conservation restriction, I still have to get it to Misty and Merrill with your questions about consistency in the document.
Did I send you a reply on, or did I write it in my head?
I think you must have written it in your head.
Okay, I'll send my.
Okay, that would be good. And this happened out the window the other day.
Oh,
That's a Cooper's hawk on top of a robin.
wow.
Yeah.
Are they friends, or, I mean?
They're really good friends.
They're rough
They
on
were
Very good
friends.
friends.
Wow.
And
Top
he's,
of a rock.
Outside
this is the
your
robin's
window?
Tail, yeah.
Oh
This
my
is right,
goodness.
literally 10 feet from my window.
Wow.
And I didn't see it hit, but something made me turn around and look out the window. I was
Yeah?
like, oh my God.
goodness. Wow.
And he or she stood there for 30 seconds and then picked up the robin and flew away
Picked up the robin and flew away with
Yeah.
a robin.
with the robin.
The big robin.
Big robin.
Is the
This is a Bradford pear that has a gazillion tiny little pears in it, and the robins have been all
Love
over
it, yeah. Good food source.
Yep.
Hmm.
And then a good food sorts again.
Exactly.
It's the food
Oh,
chain.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The food chain.
So that's
cool.
all I've got.
Member updates?
One question, I know we've gotten the email that Steve Mullaney is submitting a new
Yes.
notice of intent for Fox Run Drive.
Yeah.
And isn't this the parcel that was offered to the town years ago and the town declined? On the corner of Snake
think
Hill?
so.
and- Yeah. So question, to ask Robert would be, town turned it down years ago when it didn't seem to have any value, but now that parcel connects to the parcel the town got from that EPA settlement, and that connects to the the dog park.
Mm-hmm.
So is this possible to resubmit or express a request to resubmit to the town meeting? Or is that a done deal?
I don't know.
You ask.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would it still be on the table, though? I mean,
That's the
Yeah, is
question.
it still on the table? Yeah.
Yeah, because it was supposed to, I mean, wasn't the planning board deal that the town get offered some parcels?
Yeah.
or- And back when this was first considered, it didn't have anything around it. It just looked like getting off their tax roll. But
Yeah.
now it does have connectivity to.
Right. To
So I'd love to get that before we
Sure.
engage
Yes.
horns.
Yep, I'll ask.
Okay.
Right. Anything else?
No.
Mike?
I have nothing.
John? Mark? Okay. So, our next item is in our executive session.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's yours?
Yep. So this is, that's what Carly sent.
And I believe you have to, so it's, chair has to declare that an open meeting might have a detrimental effect on discussion of a topic and declare that an executive session is necessary.
Okay.
Excuse me, you have to adjourn to an executive session too, so you have to have a motion.
Yeah, we're getting
Yeah,
there.
we're
We're
getting
getting there. That's where we're heading to.
Okay. All right, so we're going to have an executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, Exemption Number 6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, because such a discussion in this case would be detrimental to the objective of the discussion.
Okay, and so I move that we go into executive session to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property and not to reconvene in open session, or
To reconvene.
and to reconvene in open session for the purpose of
Of adjourning the meeting.
adjourning the meeting.
Okay, and voting is by poll. So Jess,
Oh, somebody has to second that.
Oh, it's, do I second it?
second.
I second it.
So,
Aye.
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 John,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. So we're in executive session.